and welcome back to More Math. Today we're going to talk about comparing integers, putting them in order from least to greatest, and using an inequality to compare them. Inequality, word of the day. Inequality, comparing two numbers of different values. All right, so here we have, ta-da, my very fancy thermometer. I don't want to tell you how long it took me to draw that. I would be embarrassed and you would be embarrassed for me. And again, math teacher, not art teacher. Moving on. All right, so here we have our little thermometer. Can you look at this? Can you see it well enough? Can you tell me what temperature is that reading? If you think about last time we talked about a number line, right? This is it horizontal or vertical? Nice. This is a vertical number line because it's standing straight up and down. Good job. What number are we at here? So I'm going to draw this a little bigger just in case you're having a hard time seeing it. What temperature is that showing? Mrs. Moore, the line's not labeled. I don't know. Yes, you do. So if this is 0, skipped 1, -2, what number does that have to be? Nice job. That has to be -1. Good. So what number is this? You got it. -3. I just can't trick you guys. Well done. So this is showing a temperature of -3. Good job. What is the opposite of that temperature of -3? +3. Very good. All right. So could you please tell me, what is a temperature that is warmer than -3? Good. 0 degrees would be warmer than -3 because it is going up on the number line. It is taller, it is bigger, it is higher, it is greater. Good job. All right, tell me another number that is warmer than -3. 4. Good job. You could have said a whole bunch of numbers, I know. But you're right, on my thermometer here, we've got a 4. Is 12 degrees going to be warmer than my -3? Of course it is. Good job. But it's not on my number line. Does that matter? No. Good job. Number line's going forever. So just because I only drew it to 4 because I'm kind of lazy and not that artistic, it just goes on forever. So any positive number is going to be greater than my little -3 here, right? Good job. What about -1? Is -1 warmer than -3? I mean, it's a negative number, so it is still warmer, isn't it, right? Because again, it is up. It is above. Good job. Good job. Tell me a number, please. What is a temperature that is cooler, colder, less than -3? Well, the most obvious one here, right? -4. It's the only one I drew on the picture. But yeah, so -4 is down. It is less than. It is cooler. It is colder than -3. Can you, on your piece of paper, write down for me 3 numbers that are cooler than -3? I love seeing that you grabbed a piece of paper and pencil. Don't just sit there. I'm really happy to see you be a part of your education, that you don't just sit and watch. Good job. So numbers that might be cooler than -3. Well, we could have -4, we said. -10. Okay, that's a really big number, but you're right. It could be a -10 gazillion. I don't have that many zeros though, so I'm just going to go to the edge and then we got to stop because that's all I got. But you're right, that would definitely be colder. I like that one. A -5.2. Good job. Good job. Okay. So we understand these. Well, if I had a temperature of 1, so let's say I'm going to put my temperature here at 1, what would the opposite of that be? -1. You guys are so smart. Okay, never mind. You're so smart. All right, so do you see how we've compared that we have a temperature of a -3 and we're comparing it to other temperatures, right? We did that all on this vertical number line. So a thermometer was a great example of a vertical number line. Is there another example for a vertical number line? Yeah, last time we talked about how, jumping off the cliff into the lake, right? So what if we have our very straight cliff here going down, and here is our water line, and this is 0, and we've got Let's make this one 12. Ooh, that's not a very straight line, is it? Let's try that again. So this would be -10. All right, so we come running. Near, call us Superman. We jump. And we get down here to -8. So we started here at +12. I know that looks like a negative. That's just the tick mark there. It's a +12. So we started at +12 feet. We went all the way down here to -8. How far did we jump? Nice. That's right. We went from here to here. We went 12 feet. And how far did we go from here to here? We went 8 feet. What is 12 plus 8? 20 feet. Nice job. So we are comparing two numbers. We started at a +12. We ended at a -8. On our vertical number line, that went from here to here. Nice job. Which one's greater? Good. +12. Again, we go up, we're positive, we are greater. We go down, we're less. We are negative, we are lesser. Okay. I want to point out one more thing. If this is 0 and that's 12, that means that's 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to skip numbers on a number line? Yep. Why do we do that? Makes it less crowded. If I try and get in all the little numbers in here, I mean, there's already so much going on, and you try and put in every little number, it's hard to see. So very often, number lines are not counting by 1. So whenever you use a number line, be careful about that. So those were great examples of a vertical number line. But honestly, what do we normally see? Horizontal. Horizontal, horizon, right? We've got the horizon, we see the sunrise. All right. So I want to try graphing some numbers and comparing them, because that's what we're talking about this time, right? We're going to compare some numbers. And you know what happens when you take math, especially with Mrs. Moore, you have a quiz. And so I had a class and they took a quiz. And here's some scores. So the quiz was out of 15 points. So let's see, someone got 14, someone got 13, we had a 10, I'm going to write an 8 while I say 10. Yeah, that makes sense. How about trying that again? We had 14, 13, we've got a 10, an 8, a 2, someone didn't study, a 7, neither did they. All right, so here's our quiz scores. Let's graph them on a number line so we can compare them. So here's our horizontal number line. And here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice I'm only numbering the 5, not all the other ones. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 gets a star because that means it's a perfect score. Nobody got it. That's okay. We tried very hard. All right, so let's plot these points, shall we? All right, so the first person got a 14. So that you said this is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So here's our 14. 13, well, I know 13's one less. So that's going to go there. 10, well, I numbered 10, so that's easy. 8, 2, that was a sad score. I'm hoping they just had a bad day. It happens. And 7. So we have a list of quiz scores, and we were able to put them on a number line so that we can compare them. We talked about this a little last time, but looking at our number line, who got the better score? The person who has a 2 or the person who has a 14? Of course, it's the 14. So we remember that as the number line goes to the right, it is greater. I'm using that math word greater because we need to be used to it. We use that a lot in math. It just means bigger, greater, bigger, yep. And then as we go the opposite direction, we understand that the 2 is not quite as good a score as everyone else got. As it's, oops, wrong direction. And as it's going to the left, it is less. I'm going to write a than. It is less than. This is greater than. Squeak, squeak, squeak. All right. So greater than. Do you remember in elementary school, we learned these symbols for greater than and less than? Yeah, greater than looks like this. Less than looks like this. And then, of course, there's equal to. We're a little more worried about the greater than and less than. I'm pretty sure we're comfortable with the equal to. So, greater than. How do we remember that that is a greater than? There's a couple different ways. One, I think everyone's heard, you pretend this is the alligator mouth, and he likes to eat the bigger number. So that is greater than. Less than. My favorite way to remember less than is it looks like the L. This is a less. Okay. So we remember that this is the open alligator mouth is greater than. The other mouth is less than. All right. So now I just want to compare. So I have a question for you. Is the person who got 10, is their score greater than or less than the person who got 7? It is greater than. How would we write that? We would write 10. 10. We would, that didn't work at all. We would write 10 is greater than 7. Nice job. Is there another way I could write that? Yep. Here's a schmat. 7 is less than 10. All right. On your piece of paper, pick 2 scores and compare them 2 different ways, please. Da, 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 da. You're working hard. I love it. Okay. So now I'm going to use 2 because 2 and 14, because they're the biggest difference, right? They're the biggest disparity. So I'm going to say 2 and 14. Well, 2, is it bigger or smaller? It is smaller. It is less than. 2 is less than 14. And another way to write it would be 14 is greater than 2. Nice job. So I know that you did one more. Nice job. So we're going to wrap up with just putting some numbers in order. I went shopping the other day with some friends. We all started with $5. Hey, last of the big spenders. That's us. When we were done, one friend had -$3. How did they have -$3? Nice. They owed money to someone, didn't they? All right, so one friend had -$3. One friend had $2. Then there was me. I had $0. Another friend had -1. And then my last friend had $4. They were the big saver. Smart person there. Could you take these numbers and write them in order, please? Good idea. I see several of you looking at your number line. Good job. Number lines are great. They really help us to do things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And keep track of numbers. So I can write them in order, but if I'm not confident that I can do it without help, I'm going to put them on my number line. So I've got -1, -2, -3, 2, 0, -1, and 4. So now, oops, I forgot to put a dot on my 0. So now all 5 of my numbers are in order for me. I don't have to figure it out because the number line did all the work. I can write them from least to greatest. So my least number, I remember that this is the left. It is the less. So the least is -3, -1, 0, 2, 4. What a nice job that number line did. And let's be honest, what a nice job you did. Thanks for joining me.